Okay, some of you may have heard of Travelzoo. This is a member organization with 30 million subscribers. Travelzoo calls itself a club for travel enthusiasts who are supplied with exclusive offers and work in partnership with more than 5,000 top travel suppliers. They are a powerful source of inbound tourists. As you can imagine, they have a huge database, and they're in a great position to inform destinations what their members, mainly in the USA, are looking for in their trips, and then to offer consultancy and guidance as to new trends and shifting consumer desires. But please welcome on stage to tell you much more, Kat Jordan, the Communications Director of Travelzoo. Kat.
Hi, everybody. I'm acutely aware that coffee is already being served. I promise you it's 5 minutes just to tell you a little bit about Travelzoo and how we're working with destinations globally. I also want to take this opportunity to thank everybody that's hosting me here. It's been an amazing couple of days. I also had the opportunity to go on the city tour yesterday, and I will be telling that story for quite some time. So let me just spend a few minutes telling you about Travelzoo. So we are, as Rajan said, a club for travel enthusiasts, and I want to tell you a little bit about that club and the people in it. We're over 25 years old, so we've been providing travel inspiration since 1998. And we have a specialism working with destinations, whether that's a national tourism organization or a city's visitor bureau. We just want to share the story of that destination. And there's 30 million of us split across 6 countries. So we've talked a lot about the US opportunity and the German opportunity from David's presentation earlier. We have members in both of those 2 countries, alongside the UK, France, Spain, and Canada. So we're a global influencer and a global storyteller. And we like to tell destination stories. How do we do this? We have a suite of products that works for the needs of a destination. So whether that's a lesser-known location, trying to tell just the initial story, just to really whet people's appetites about the destination, right through to a need for heads in beds, where we can create more tactical solutions. We'll also work with resorts and hotels on a package basis with our German and Spanish audiences, so we can package up with flights to get people to that destination or resort. And our signature product is something called the Top 20, which goes out at 11 o'clock every Wednesday, the best of the best travel deals in each of those 6 countries I mentioned. We've had huge success recently with a Montenegro deal in the UK and some Albania content, which people are really, really interested in. So lots of different ways we can work with you as a destination, as a resort, or in fact, on a more local basis. And let me tell you a little bit about those members, those 30 million subscribers, and what they're interested in and why they're right to come to the Balkans. The key is that they really, 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 really want to travel. So that's obviously something that we have in spades. Look at the percentage of people who say travel is their top discretionary spend. Now, David touched on this earlier as well, but in a time of semi-crisis in many places, actually the fact that these people want to spend their discretionary spend on travel is really, really key. That's a lot of euros, dollars, and pounds that they're going to spend in destination. And the Germans and Brits particularly are taking 2.4 international trips per year. That's on top of the 3 domestic trips that they're taking. So these people are ready to travel and looking forward to that opportunity. Why wouldn't that opportunity be to a Balkan country? We want to do this travel telling, this storytelling, in a responsible way. So we try to frame that story responsibly. You saw on the previous slide that these audiences are slightly older. Therefore, they are not reliant on traveling in the school holidays. And they often don't need to worry about traveling during peak season. It gives us an opportunity to extend the season for a destination or for a resort, bringing in tourism at different times of year. And you saw the advisor for Croatia talk about that quite a lot in the previous panel. They also want to go further, see more. Again, something that David identified within his presentation, visiting secondary and tertiary cities, getting out of those main tourist areas. So a message that we can tell for you is about why you wouldn't want to travel during peak season, and something that's really, really key to that responsible travel message. Our pillars of dispersal, extension, and inspiration all tie into the theme of this conference about resilience and how we can make a destination successful all year round, not just through the peak months. Let me just give you 3 really, really quick examples of how we've worked with destinations to tell their story. Malta worked with us to create a story about year-round travel. They have absolutely no need for visitors during the peak summer months. But with all Malta has to offer, why wouldn't visitors want to visit out of season? We told their story in 5 countries, and we shared a number of their conscious and responsible travel messages too. With all of those great historical and cultural stories, hopefully you see the potential of how this region can really capitalize on the fact that Travelzoo audiences really like that cultural and historical angle. In fact, in a survey that's live at the moment, the Americans are saying it's their #1 reason to travel. Beyond going to the beach, beyond city breaks, culture and history is the thing that's really whetting their appetites right now. A second example is Greece. Now, everybody knows the islands of Corfu, Rhodes, or Crete. But do you know the islands of Limnos or Ikaria? There's 227 inhabited islands in Greece. We don't need to visit just the main ones. The fish is just as fresh, the sunsets are just as spectacular, but they're not flooded with tourists, and you've got room to breathe on the beaches. We work with Greece to actively promote travel during the winter, which many people wouldn't associate with a country like Greece. But that was a win for the airline partners too. So it benefits the whole industry as well as the local communities. And finally, my third example, Jersey. Now, the Brits in the room have heard of Jersey, but I'm going to bet that most other people haven't. It's a very small island, 119 square kilometers between England and France. With a rich history, the Germans occupied it during the Second World War. Massive sandy beaches, amazing seafood. We worked with them to tell a story about off-season travel. In fact, what we actually did was create a 3-day trip for passengers from Travelzoo with exclusive content. So we went to a hotel out of season, we filled that hotel for 3 days. The upspend from that hotel was absolutely fantastic, and the benefits were seen in the local community. So it doesn't have to be sort of just telling the story, we can look at tactical solutions as well for destinations. And finally, I just want to share about our Conscious Travel Pledge. All of this isn't done without the idea that responsible travel is a responsibility of Travelzoo and the Travelzoo members. So we ask all of our travelers to make a pledge to travel more consciously. We continue to push for more pledges, and we're looking to get to 1 million pledges for our Travel for Tomorrow by the end of the year. So I said I'd be quick. I'm aware that coffee is being served, but I would love to hear more from anybody who'd like to work with Travelzoo. We love telling stories. We'd love to tell yours. Come tell me yours during the coffee break, and hopefully we can find a way to work together. Thank you very much.